Hey everyone, ready to dive into something really wild?
Always. What have you got for us today?
It's about animal migration, but not just, the usual stuff. Think about those monarch butterflies making that huge journey across North America.
To a single mountain in Mexico, right. Incredible.
Exactly. But it's more than just incredible, it's mind-boggling. How do they find their way to a place they've never even seen?
Well, like a lot of migrators, they use the sun and their internal clock. But there's this other piece to the puzzle, something, well, almost unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I'm intrigued.
They seem to be sensing the Earth's magnetic field.
Wait, are you saying they have a built-in compass? Like literally?
It's called magnetoreception,
Yeah.
and it's not just butterflies.
Seriously. Who else has this superpower?
Sea turtles use it to navigate oceans. Trout find their spawning grounds. Even some bacteria, believe it or not.
Okay, hold on. This is a lot to take in. But how does it actually work? Do they have, like, tiny magnets inside them or something?
Some bacteria do use magnetite. It's like, yeah, microscopic compass needles. But it's not the whole story.
Because...
Well, some of the best navigators out there, like the European robin, don't seem to have any magnetite at all.
So no tiny magnets in the robin. But they still manage to fly from, what, Northern Europe to North Africa and back again? How is that possible?
Now, here's where things get really interesting. Robins need light to see the magnetic field.
See the magnetic field. Light and magnetism? How are those even connected in a bird's navigation system?
It's almost like they've got a visual compass, but one tuned into something we can't even perceive.
This is blowing my mind. So who figured this out?
Well, there's the scientist, Wolfgang Wiltschko. He spent years, literally years, trying to crack the robin's compass code.
So what did he do?
He built these special chambers, right, where he could control the magnetic field. Then he'd observe how the robins reacted.
Smart. So what did he find?
His experiments showed that robins use what we call an inclination compass.
Inclination compass. So not like our regular north-pointing compass, I guess.
Instead of pointing north, an inclination compass senses the angle of the Earth's magnetic field lines. Imagine, like, a giant net draped over the planet.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Near the poles, the lines are steep, and at the equator, they're flat. The robin, by sensing the angle, knows where it is on that net.
That's wild, but how do they detect something like that? It's an invisible force field. Are we talking like ESP here or what?
Not quite ESP, but this is where things take a turn into the quantum realm.
Quantum realm. This is getting stranger by the minute.
You could say that. The theory is that a quantum phenomenon called entanglement is at play.
Entanglement. That's a pretty complicated stuff, right? Quantum physics for birds.
It's quantum physics for all of us, really. Entanglement means two particles, even separated by huge distances, are linked in a way that, well, it defies logic.
Okay, give me an example, because I'm struggling to wrap my head around this.
Imagine two coins flipped at the same time. They could land heads or tails, but they're linked. One is heads, the other must be tails.
Okay, got it.
Now, separate those coins by miles, galaxies, whatever. Look at one, you instantly know the state of the other. No information traveled between them.
Okay, my brain's doing backflips.
Yeah.
But how does this connect to the robin's magnetic sense?
Well, the theory is that Earth's magnetic field can actually influence chemical reactions inside the robin's cells.
What kind of reactions?
Specifically, reactions with radical pairs. Molecules that have unpaired electrons. Think of those electrons like super sensitive to any magnetic nudge. And that nudge changes how the reaction plays out.
So the Earth's magnetic field is like a tiny hand, tipping the scales of these reactions. And somehow that gives the robin information about its location.
You got it. But there's a missing piece. We need a molecule, a kind of biological compass that can use these quantum effects.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's this mystery molecule that's going to tie this whole wild story together?
It's called Cryptochrome. And you find it in the eyes of lots of animals, robins included. We already know it helps regulate our body clocks, but
But there's more to it, right?
some scientists think it's got a secret side hustle as a quantum compass.
Cryptochrome, a protein in the eye. That's our prime suspect. What makes it so special for this compass thing?
Well, it's sensitive to light, for one thing. When light hits cryptochrome, an electron gets all excited and jumps around, which...
Which leads to those radical pairs. The ones that are so sensitive to magnetic fields.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I'm following. Light hits cryptochrome, electrons go wild, their spins get entangled, and then the Earth's magnetic field influences them. It's a lot to take in. But is there, like, proof this is actually how it works?
There's more and more evidence coming out. Scientists have shown that cryptochrome, yeah, it does produce those radical pairs when exposed to light. And if you mess with those pairs, it seems to disrupt the magnetic sense in animals.
So, like, if you mess up the radical pairs, the animals can't navigate.
Pretty much. One of the most convincing experiments they did was using these oscillating magnetic fields. Imagine like a rapidly fluctuating magnet. And they used this to disrupt the robin's compass.
Why not just use a regular magnet?
Because the theory, right, it predicts that if this compass relies on quantum mechanics, it should be super sensitive to high frequencies.
High frequencies like flipping those coins really fast.
Exactly. If you flip them too fast, they get confused, the link breaks down.
Makes sense. So what happened with the robins in these oscillating fields?
Well, their compass basically went haywire, and here's the thing, it was disrupted by very specific frequencies, exactly as the quantum theory predicted.
So it's strong evidence that what a quantum process is actually happening in these birds.
It's looking more and more likely.
That's incredible. A tiny bird using quantum physics to navigate thousands of miles.
Yeah.
This is seriously like something out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it? But the implications are huge. If this is going on in so many species, it suggests that, well, quantum compasses could be ancient.
Ancient how? Like how old are we talking?
Maybe even billions of years old. Imagine that.
So even early life forms might have had this quantum sense, helping them navigate. That's
Yeah.
a whole other level of mind-blowing. So, case closed. Quantum physics explains how animals sense magnetic fields.
We're getting there, but we're not quite done yet. There are still some mysteries to figure out. For instance, we don't know how the signal from the eye gets to the brain.
And we don't know how the robin experiences this magnetic information, right?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Like, does the world look different to them when they're using their magnetic sense? Do they see colors we can't imagine or, like, patterns in the sky? It's fascinating to think about.
It really is. Imagine being able to feel the Earth's magnetic field, to have it guide you. It would be like having a sixth sense.
And it could be happening all around us, all the time, in birds, butterflies, even bacteria. It really makes you realize how much we still don't know about the natural world. So we've been talking about robins and their quantum compasses, but what about those monarch butterflies? They make these incredible journeys too, right? Do they use something similar?
Yeah, that's a big question scientists are trying to answer. It's likely that different species have evolved different mechanisms for magnetoreception, but the basic idea, using those quantum effects could be pretty widespread.
So this quantum compass with the radical pairs and the cryptochrome, it's not just a robin thing.
It might be happening all over the animal kingdom. Who knows? It's a pretty fascinating idea, right? This ancient mechanism, maybe even older than eyes as we know them, helping organisms find their place in the world.
It's like a sixth sense, a way of perceiving this magnetic field that we can't even imagine.
And who knows what other hidden processes are out there? What other ways quantum mechanics is influencing life? It makes you wonder.
Right. It's a reminder that there are so many mysteries out there, and sometimes the most unbelievable things turn out to be true.
That's the thing about science, isn't it? It's all about discovery, pushing the boundaries, challenging what we think we know. It's a never-ending journey.
And sometimes you end up in places you never expected. Like, who would thought bird migration and quantum physics would be so connected?
Exactly. And those unexpected connections, that's what makes science so exciting. It reminds us that we're all part of this big interconnected web, from the tiniest bacteria to a monarch butterfly, all influenced by the same laws of nature.
It's kind of a beautiful thought, actually. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. From migrating butterflies to the mind-blowing world of quantum physics. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive into the world of quantum compasses.
It's been my pleasure, and for everyone listening out there, remember, the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and you never know what amazing things you'll discover.